Sweet. All right. Hey, everybody. Dan Reecer. I'm Chief Growth Officer at Acala. Been working at Acala for about a year and a half now, believe it or not. Prior to Acala, I've been in the Polkadot ecosystem, big passion of mine for quite a while. Came from Web3 Foundation, and great to see a lot of my former coworkers, Emily included. I'm also joined on stage by my good friend Gavin Gillas. He's from Venkman Holdings. He's going to be talking after me and getting into details around what they're building on Acala. So I'm going to go over some quick background on Acala and AUSD for those of you in the room or watching online who may not be familiar. I'm also going to go into a little bit of just the current state of affairs on Acala as well as on Polkadot in general. And then I'm going to get into a little bit of a discussion around what Acala is doing to kind of start blending these worlds of Web 2 and Web 3. Because in my opinion, we're not going to just flip a switch and go straight from Web 2 to Web 3. We need to help bring more people into Web 3 without the clumsiness, without the difficult user experience and things like this. So I'll talk quite a bit today around that topic. And then going off of that, we'll get into a little discussion around some teams building on Acala in this kind of segment, Gavin included, and a couple kind of new announcements today as well that I'm pretty excited to share. So Acala's lead team, so Brian Chen, our CTO, actually flew here from New Zealand. So if you've never met Brian, recommend meeting Brian while he's here this week. Our other co-founders are Betty, who unfortunately couldn't come, Rui Tao, and Fuyao. And those are kind of the four co-founders who have been building Acala for the last 3.5 years or so. Acala, very strong engineering team is kind of what drew me to joining the Acala team in the first place. As someone on kind of the growth, marketing, or BD side, it's extremely powerful to have a team that like Brian and like Sean, who's also here, running the engineering team for Acala. Most of our team is actually based in New Zealand. Believe it or not, there's actually a crazy little Polkadot hub in Auckland, New Zealand. The BitCountry team is there, the Subquery on Finality team is there, and many others. So hopefully I'm going to get to Auckland if they ever let me in. So Acala started building our blockchain, like I said, 3.5 years ago, realizing that when Polkadot got to actually the point that we're at today, with multiple parachains live, needing to interact with one another, the founding team knew that we would need a decentralized stablecoin that could be used on not only one of these parachains, but all parachains connected to Polkadot. So that kind of sparked the idea of AUSD as a keyword over-collateralized stablecoin. And decentralized stablecoin to serve the Polkadot ecosystem as well as the Kusama ecosystem. So many of the teams in the room, parachain teams, as well as DApp teams, we're working with to get these cross-chain channels open so that we can start exporting AUSD from Acala's chain to all the other parachains on Polkadot. Here's a somewhat technical graphic of the tech stack of Acala, but just to kind of build off of what I mentioned as AUSD as our core product, we also built our parachain around AUSD. So we have a DEX built into the chain that helps facilitate efficient liquidations for the stablecoin, as well as a liquid staking product that is quite relevant to my presentation later on today. And then, of course, on top of the chain, we've built an EVM Plus environment, which Brian and the team have built over the past year or so. And actually, just yesterday or the day before, the first DApp went live on Karura, which is our Kusama-based parachain, which tells you that this works in a live environment and will very soon be launching on Acala. So lots of applications going to start being live on both Acala and Karura. With the recent events in the crypto space, I thought it was important to touch on how Acala stablecoin is built and the kind of the mechanism that we use. So I already mentioned it's over-collateralized. This means it's backed by real assets. It's not I'm trying to maintain a peg with just an algorithm. There's real assets like DOT, like ACA, KSM, LKSM, LDOT, etc., that help back the stablecoin, but over-collateralized, meaning that there's a buffer in case the price of the collateral were to fluctuate. So it enables the peg to be maintained even within kind of market events like we've seen over the past 3 to 6 months. There's also a couple of YouTube videos on the Acala YouTube channel that go much deeper into this. I don't have time to go deep into AUSD today, but feel free to check that out if you haven't kind of learned about AUSD yet. This is just meant to show kind of some of the hard work that we've been doing over the past couple of years. A lot of the parachain teams in the room, like I mentioned, we're working with to help support their use cases. Acala's goal is to grow kind of the issuance and the influence of our stablecoin throughout the ecosystem. So because of that, our goal is to export as much TVL as we possibly can to teams like A-Star, to teams like Moonbeam and Hydra, and everyone else pictured on this slide who we're working with on AUSD. So, important reminder that I keep bringing up, but I think it's really important to remember. Polkadot's been being built since 2016, 2017, but Polkadot has been live for 1.8 months. This is when cross-chain messaging went live about 1.8 months ago, which to me is ultimately the end of Polkadot's launch process. So if people ask you, why is Polkadot moving so slow? Why is Polkadot, why are these parachains just now getting started? It's because the tech is being built right. It's being built for the long run. It's being built in a decentralized manner, and it's being built from scratch. It's not a copy-paste EVM layer 1. This is a completely new multi-chain ecosystem connecting up to 100 blockchains together. So good things take time, and I think we all know that if you're sitting in the room here or watching online. Just quick slide to show this is all becoming a reality. So on Kusama, there's 21 parachains live. Karura is connected to 19 of them, meaning that we can send data and tokens back and forth to any of these parachains that we're connected to. This is kind of step one to getting to the point where we can have multi-chain applications going live and kind of Polkadot and Kusama fulfilling the vision that Gavin and the team set out 6 years ago or so. Same thing on Polkadot. Polkadot's much newer than Kusama, so less parachains are live there, but same thing. We're just getting things up and running now. So Acala's kind of role in the ecosystem right now is kind of a few things. So Acala with AUSD and these vaults that you can open called collateralized debt positions ultimately provide a credit system to help grow and bootstrap the economy on Polkadot. This leads me to number 2. So with assets like DOT, with products like LDOT, so liquid staking DOT, as well as Tapio's T-Dot product, which Terry from the Tapio team is here from Hong Kong. He's going to be speaking at about 5 o'clock, so highly recommend learning about T-Dot. It's going to be one of the most important products in the Polkadot ecosystem. And then the third point here is gateway to mass market. So what I'm going to get into next is how Acala is going to be working with a lot of companies, enterprises, and providing products that they can use. So what we also want to do is be able to enable other parachain teams, whether that's application-specific chains or generic EVM type of chains, to be able to plug in to this mass market audience via Acala. So one example of this, we announced this last year, but just an example of what we're doing to kind of merge these two worlds. So Current is a company in New York with 4 million customers using an app on their phone for a simple savings account. They're very soon going to be releasing a crypto product, and that will be using, as soon as we get the kind of infrastructure laid out, Acala on the back end. So users, let's say a 22-year-old sitting in New Jersey, used to using this app for a savings account will all of a sudden have a product that says, like, would you like to hold DOT, or would you like to use a stable coin and earn interest on that? That part of that product will plug into Acala on the back end without the users having to use anything related to public and private keys, MetaMask, Polkadot.js. Hopefully no one ever has to use that in the mass market, or Talisman, Subwallet, all these new options now. A couple other examples of apps building on Acala. So these are soon to launch in the EVM Plus. And they're kind of in this hybrid world of solving real-world problems with blockchain. So MuFi, for example, on the left, is a team of 3 DJs out of New York. They're music industry veterans, and they're trying to solve this problem that I didn't know about before working with them. But apparently it takes 6 to 18 months for an artist to get paid by Spotify after their music is streamed by someone. So this is a pain for artists, and they need to be paid so that they can go on tour, buy merchandise, invest in themselves. So MuFi is actually extremely exciting because they're working with multiple parachains below the hood of their app. So Centrifuge, Acala, Remark, using NFTs to pull the Spotify data into an NFT and use that to collateralize and issue an advance payment to artists so that they can get paid when they deserve to be paid. Zifty is a second application that just today they're kind of announcing that they're also building on Acala and joining the Polkadot ecosystem. They're a team out of San Diego and Austin, Texas, and they're building real estate NFTs, fully regulatory compliant. The whole kind of process behind the scenes is figured out with how like the titles work with NFTs and so on, but very strong team with a deep real estate background, and they're bringing this real estate NFTs to Acala for people to be able to purchase real estate with things like BTC or even Polkadot assets. So that leads me to what's next for Acala. So let's see if I can go back. So Acala, we're bringing enterprises into Polkadot, as well as all the millions of customers that they serve. And we're doing this by building compliant products that enterprises can use in order to comply with the rules and regulations that they need to comply with. So reminding you of our current tech stack, Acala's blockchain at the bottom, EVM and applications building on top. And what we're about to start releasing is this. So we're creating a separate instance of specific protocols that are gated by KYC and AML to provide permission DeFi to enterprises, to banks, to fintechs, and to any corporation who needs this type of a product in order to participate in Web3 or DeFi. So now let's go through a couple examples of who we're working with to make this a reality. So today, really excited to announce we're working with the team at Alluvial as well as Coinbase Cloud and Figment to bring institutional Polkadot liquid staking to the market that's enterprise grade and compliant. What this allows us to do, and all of us as a Polkadot ecosystem, is to expand our reach into the enterprise world and reach these enterprises who need to have compliant tech and KYC in order to participate in this environment. So this allows them to know who's participating in the environment with them, to have things like monitoring and reporting and things that they need to comply with their internal rules or their local jurisdiction. And it's a non-custodial option. So all these things very important to institutions. And just want to thank Matt and Mark and the team at Coinbase Cloud and Figment for the great kind of partnership on this. If you're a builder or if you're a validator watching, or even an enterprise who's interested in using this product, here's the emails that you can send them a message if you're interested in kind of working with the Alluvial team. And then next, I mentioned Terry. So Terry and the team and his team at Nuts Finance, who's building Tapio and Taiga, are also going to now be building a new product called Pike, which we're super excited to launch, kind of helping them through the development process and helping them launch very soon in Q3 of this year. Pike serves two groups. So first and foremost, crypto users, kind of retail type of users who want to participate in money markets or other kind of staking products. And it's also enterprise ready from day one. So it's kind of going back to my previous slides around KYC, AML, and so on. But Pike at its core is something that I, as a Polkadot user, I'm really excited to be able to use. So this is a lending and borrowing market that leverages under the hood things that Terry and his team have built with T-Dot, which over time, as Pike is launched, we're going to be rolling out a lot more education around how that works. Pike Invest is also extremely cool. If you're a Polkadot user, being able to automatically dollar cost average your DOT staking rewards into any other token. So let's say you want to take your DOT staking rewards into Bitcoin, part of it into AUSD, so you can have a stable coin to maybe use to buy dinner. This is what the Pike Invest product will offer. And then the third product, the income product, allows you to pull stable coins out based on your future staking rewards. So this product is being built from scratch by the Nuts Finance team and will be, like I said, launching around Q3. The other thing, the other side of the coin is the enterprise product. So being able to offer this product, a lending and borrowing market, to enterprises was also really important for us. And instead of trying to kind of force this into an enterprise product after the fact, we're starting with enterprise in mind from day one. So enterprise being one option, and of course, open permissionless protocol being another option for people who are going to use Pike. So here's a kind of a sneak preview of the UI of Pike. I'm using things like T-dot, like L-dot, and what have you. Another kind of preview here. And then the website. So pike.finance is the website for Pike. Come talk to Terry or myself if you're interested in learning more about this product. So next, excited to welcome Gavin up on stage. So like I said, Gavin's a good friend of mine from when I lived in Austin a few years. Building a lot of products. We've been working on this for quite a while, and it's kind of surreal actually to be on stage with Gavin here talking about this. But I'm going to hand it over to him, and he's going to walk through what they're building on Acala. So thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Dan, so much for having me here. And really proud to be a partner in the Acala ecosystem and be building more broadly across Polkadot. I'm Gavin. I was told there's supposed to be a Gavin on every stage across these Decoded events. So sorry to be the cheap version. I've been in blockchain since 2013. I got exposed through a hackathon. So these hackathon events and hacker houses, if you're new to this community, please go to them. They're a great place to learn and meet. And sadly, I'm also a recovering attorney. And so this is a way to learn, even if you're not technical, to get involved with the ecosystem, start building on the tools. My latest venture is called Project Venkman. And if you recognize that name, stick around to the end. We have a really cool trailer to show you regarding Bill Murray. But I want to talk more broadly about why we're here and why we're building. 85% of your discretionary income is spent inside of something that could earn a loyalty point or some sort of reward. So your travel, your retail purchases, your subscriptions, all those flow through things that are fairly close to digital money. You know, you accumulate points, you rarely pay taxes on that, and it's a magical thing to have. And we've realized, working with some of the largest brands in the world in our last blockchain studio, that there's something phenomenal here in the crypto world that can drive mass adoption by focusing on ways to bring those rewards, both as status and as points, into the crypto ecosystem. Now, a lot of this drives around micropayments, and we couldn't do that on Ethereum, so we're here. So if I can show you a bit of what we do is, this is the generic dashboard, but think of this as for an airline or a hotel chain. We focused on two things in the loyalty world. One is, how do you reflect that bronze, silver, gold level of status and crystallize that potentially as an NFT? These NFTs then could be provisioned by the brand, airdrop new rewards to you, and even if the brand sets it up, become something that you could sell or transfer to others. And so these composable rewards wrapped in strong infrastructure could be these digital tools of the future. And that's what we're excited to announce basically through the rest of this year, is the work we're doing across brands to deploy this technology. So why did we choose Acala? Again, working in the space a long time, initially there weren't a lot of options. And as the space has progressed, 2018 forward, it's been really cool to see that there are options to build. But as Dan mentioned, we're looking at the long term and looking at all the work you guys are doing here across the Polkadot ecosystem. We wanted to build in a space where we knew we had great allies, we had incredible engineers, and it would lead the way in terms of EVM compatibility, in terms of DeFi infrastructure, and the chance to work across partners. All of our work in Web 2, which this year alone will touch on over 15 million users, and we'll move into hundreds of millions of users over the next 2 years. That means this needs to be simple. It needs to be interoperable. And we really wanted to solve some of the usability challenges and tap the know-how and power of the tools that each of you are building and working on. So we really wanted to, one, look at what's on that transactional layer of rewards points, what could sit on top in terms of status. And one of our early partners and key clients is an e-commerce website called The Chive. The Chive was one of the first stores to crash Shopify. It led sales for Shopify for the first 5 years of its growth, and it's done over $500 million in e-commerce. And in their ecosystem, there's one actor who is the key driver of their revenue. He's kind of the secular god to the folks of the Chive, and his name is Bill Murray. Our company is named after his character in Ghostbusters. And when we look to build a rewards program for the Chive, they do a lot of e-commerce. It's a web community. They engage a ton online. There is millions of files of user-generated content generated every month, and tens of millions of page views. And so instead of starting with a transactional point program, we looked at how could we start at the status level and create something blue chip and exciting for the top users of the Chive. And this is debuting in 2 weeks. And I hope this video works. So let's turn the audio up and roll the Bill Murray 1000. While we're getting it queued up, what we did was we worked with Bill Murray to build it. Are we good to go? OK, let's play it, and I'll talk after. Let's get some audio if we can.
But I used to not call them a power board. And it was like, come on in. He slept on the couch.
Thank you. So just to finalize, really thankful for everything that we've seen in this space. Really proud to be partners of Acala, and we're really proud to build fun things on top of this infrastructure we're all creating together. Underneath all the data science, underneath all of the scaling conversations, under all of these improvements in DeFi, we want to build incredible things. And I couldn't be here without you guys. So thank you so much.
Yep. Am I off? So I just wanted to wrap up. So thanks, everybody, for coming to our presentation. We'll be around. I'll be here till Friday, so hopefully those of you who I haven't met would love to meet you. But yeah, we've kind of covered everything from Acala to our kind of journey into this enterprise and Web 2, Web 3 kind of blended world. And thanks again for the attention. And again, go watch Terry at 5 o'clock. Thank you.